Stocks trim gains after S&P 500 stocks gave back some gains Thursday after the S&P 500 reached a record earlier in the day. The S&P 500 rose as much as 1% to reach an all-time high of 2,956 before falling back to trade 0.5% higher. The Dow and Nasdaq stocks surged earlier in the day after the Federal Reserve on Wednesday hinted possible interest rate cuts as soon as next month. The Fed said it stands ready to battle growing global and domestic economic risks as they took stock of intensifying trade tensions and growing concerns about inflation. Most Fed policymakers also dropped patient from the Fed's statement and acknowledged that inflation is running below its 2% objective. Market participants viewed the overall tone from the U.S. Central Bank as more dovish than expected. Traders are now, the Fed is not in the business of validating market pricing except when they are both heading in the same direction, and that is what the central bank did yesterday, said Stephen Blitz, chief U.S. economist at T.S. Lombard, in a note. Without an economic, Thursday's gains wiped out the steep losses recorded by the major indexes in May. The S&P stocks plunged in May as increasing trade tensions compounded fears of slower economic growth. China and the U.S. The Fed's message on Wednesday sent the 10-year Treasury yield below 2% for the first time since November 2016. Investors bid the dollar also took a hit against other major currencies. The dollar indexed, Netflix and Amazon were among the best performers, rising more than 1% each. Facebook, App, these are some of the best performing stocks of the past 10 years. Low rates have been, energy shares got a boost from higher oil prices. The Energy Select, CNBC's Sam Meredith contributed to this report.
Raindrop, drop top, smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.